there's lots of favorites here, but this is one particular one that's a really good example of a picture being worth 1,000 words. You could write all the papers in the world, you could have all the studies in the world, but until we sat in the editing room and edited together, and with the help of our volunteers all over the country found the clip, some people say over and over again, and then put it together, there really was no way to sort of understand viscerally the impact of what they were doing, how they were doing, and also how they use some people say to interject their opinion over and over and over again. So let's take a look at the Some People Say clip.
Other journalists use phrases like "some people say" or "officials say" when they're trying to insert anonymously information in a story that sort of advances the storyline. Fox does it in a different way. "Some people say" is Fox's cue that I'm pretending to be an anchor, so I can't say this is my opinion or this is Roger Ailes' opinion, but some people say.
Some people say that'd be a pretty good choice. Bring in the Hispanic vote. Some people saying, he's posturing.
Some people say, and excuse me, I'll get to you, Joe, in just a second, but some people say that you may be setting up Sharpton for a run against Hillary in 2006 in the Senate.
Journalistically, it's a very peculiar technique because the idea behind journalism is that you're sourcing who you're referring to. This is just sort of a clever way of inserting political opinion when you know it probably shouldn't be there.
Some people say that this might undermine what the U.S. troops are doing there.
Some people say John Kerry has some similarities to an earlier Massachusetts politician.
Some people say in light of what's happened with the oil for food program.
Some people say supported by Iran.
Some say, I've heard a couple people say.
Some say that it's a sour grapes book. Some people say it's just too violent, there's too much blood.
Some people say.
Some people say.
Well, some people say.
Some people say.
Some say it.
Some people say.
Some are saying.
Some people say.
There's some people who say something, if not major, has already happened.
Those are his words.
Some people say it's exploitive. What do you say to that?
This is a cog in the right-wing media apparatus. And as you watch that clip, some say, that is media malpractice. No media institution worth its salt would do sourcing like that. You know, Senator Daniel Patrick Moynihan once said, people have a right to their own opinions, but not to their own facts. And we have seen Fox News over these last years make up and misinform Americans so that we live in this post-truth environment, which films like Outfoxed, which independent, fearless news operations like The Nation and scores of others need to combat if we are going to have a democracy worth its name. We should take a lesson from your terrific documentary and understand the danger Fox poses, but also remember that people-powered independent media has far more people involved in it than Fox News. I would argue that people need to support the independent media in their communities, to support those groups which are fighting that we see a more empowered Federal Communications Commission to ensure that there be public interest news and not just this Murdochization news. Support your local media, your independent media, support national independent media, ensure that they are free to grow. And I think people-powered media, you know, what do they say? It's organized money versus organized people. And that is what we're witnessing in this current struggle. But I'd also keep the momentum on to ensure accountability. I think the Fox empire possibly could outfox all of us, but it will require people with their independent media news outlets to stay on top, not just of the scandal of Rupert Murdoch or James Murdoch, but of the scandal of Murdochization, the degradation of our news, our politics, our culture, and our discourse, which is what we've seen. So I hope this film works to do what it must do in this tipping point moment, to remind people of the dangers of media consolidation, conglomeratization, Murdochization, when you have too much power in one media empire's hands, and what dirty hands they are, and the need for smart regulatory operations to empower a bolder, more independent, fearless media that asks the tough questions required in a democracy.